From our Center for the Arts studios, this is your Ashland University Sports Update. I'm Tom Preisman. Thank you for tuning in. 3 days after the most important game in pro football comes one of the most important days in college football, National Signing Day. Ashland University held their own signing day ceremony at the Troop Center on Wednesday.
Every single school in the state of Ohio that has football is the responsibility of one of the AU coaches. So we're going to be in those schools at least once a year, sometimes upwards of 5 or 6 times. So if there's a player in the state, we're going to know about him, both with our network of former players, coaches, teachers, any boosters, whatever the case might be, we're going to know about them. And, we feel there's so many good players within the walls of the state of Ohio, we don't need to really go much anywhere else.
55 high school seniors signed on the dotted line to join the Eagles. 10 Ashland area products are set to join AU next season, including standouts from Mapleton, Hillsdale, Loudonville, and Lexington. Signing day comes after the recruiting process, which is an exhilarating and stressful process for both coaches and athletes. We had a chance to talk to several AU athletes and coaches for their thoughts on recruiting.
We really hit Ohio hard, especially the 3 C's, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. And, Dayton area has always been good to us as well. But right now we have a lot of guys from Cleveland. We have some guys from Columbus, and we're recruiting down in Cincinnati hard all the time. It's just a matter of where they are that year.
We also go to programs that have been very good to our program. And I mean that from, there's certain high schools that have excellent high school coaching, that have had success. We like to recruit kids that are used to winning and know how to win. And there's just certain programs, if you look at our roster, you'll see those programs that really understand and have the same type of kids that we have here at Ashland. And so it makes the transition a lot easier, and it's a good fit.
What do you like about the university? What do you like about, can you get the courses you want? Do you like the coach and that sort of thing? And I understand, for a lot of these student athletes, the first person they meet is the coach. That's the original contact. So much comes down to that coach and what they think about them. But the other point here is, again, we want to give them a good experience. And can you get a job when you get out of here? Can you complete 4 years here or 5 years, leave here with a good experience, and then feel, I can contribute to society, both at work and when I'm not at work. That's what you're trying to do.
Coach Freilich actually started recruiting me through another player, Robin Rotterschmidt. She was from my hometown, and she actually came here freshman year. And so when she would come and watch her play, she kind of saw me, and that's kind of how I got recruited here. And I only got recruited by a couple other D2 schools, a school down in North Carolina and then Gannon. But other than that, I'm glad I came here.
I came to Ashland on an unofficial trip just for a day. I came for one Saturday, and I was here for a day, and then I decided I wanted to come here. It was pretty much a no-brainer once I got on campus, and I loved the small school aspect, and I was actually recruited by a different coach than we have now. I love both of them, but the coach that recruited me really caught my attention. And
a familiar face has a new role in the AU athletic department. Former sports information director Al King was promoted to full-time athletic director last month. King had been serving as interim athletic director since July 2014. Recently, we had a chance to catch up with King as he settled in.
I was, to be honest with you, kind of caught off guard. I didn't expect it in the middle of January to be named the permanent AD, and then it was, to be honest with you, it was a couple days before I was getting ready to go to Washington, D.C. for the NCAA convention. So you're focused on all that, and then this comes along. So to be honest with you, it kind of came out of nowhere, and I guess the best way was stunned would be the way to describe it. We've got to find ways. The one thing that what we want to do is everything begins with the student athlete and their welfare, and how do you present the best experience? And by experience, I mean athletically, academically, and socially. And everything's tied together. I mean, that ties into what you do on the field or on the court. It ties into your travel. It ties into money that you have to fund your programs, to give your athletes the best equipment, the best fields, the best coaching. So you can't say one thing, boy, you have to do that and not do this. But my challenge right now is to look at those things, prioritize them, and then find ways to bring more money in, to bring better academic counseling in, to do things so athletes and coaches have more time to develop relationships. I want to do more with SAC and try to give the athletes maybe a little bit more of a voice. The one thing we were always looking at is facilities. What do we need to do? We have some great facilities here, but can we update some of them? Can we bring in, some different things, try some things that way?
On each episode of the Eagle Sports Update, we will highlight an AU athlete for their contributions on and off the field. This week, AU TV's 20, Kate Seifert sat down with swimmer Hannah Matar.
Thanks, Tom. Today on our first Athlete Spotlight, we're talking to junior swimmer Hannah Matar. Last year, Hannah went to nationals in all 4 of her events, and she is currently in the top 10 in her events this season. Thanks so much for joining us today, Hannah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Let's get into some questions. So when did you start swimming, and when did you realize you wanted to transform your high school swimming career into a college career?
I started swimming around the age of 5. My parents put me into lessons after a trial and error with some different sports. Couldn't run, couldn't dance. So my older brother got into swimming, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. So that's how I kind of got into swimming, and then going through swimming, it kind of takes up more and more of your time as you get older. And then I knew I wanted to swim in college in middle school, so swimming in high school was a no-brainer. And then as I get to junior, senior year, it's time to start looking for colleges, and that was a really fun experience for that.
And you've been so successful this year. What have you been doing as the years progress to get ready for the GLIACs coming up?
Definitely, I try to focus on eating healthy. That's something I never really did before. All through high school, I never really focused on it, but now being a college athlete, I kind of realized that was more important. Doing that, making sure I'm doing what needs to be done in the weight room, just getting stronger and more powerful really helps in the water, and then just making sure that training is like good and awesome. It's a lot of fun, so having the team with you is really fun too.
And as the season's winding down and you are getting closer to the championships, what are you doing to change your workouts and change your practices?
As we get closer to the championship meet, we definitely do a lot less yardage. We don't do so many laps in the pool. It's not so much quantity as it is quality. Leading up to the meet, you're kind of doing more pace work and quicker reaction type of sets, and getting your body ready to fire fast instead of doing the long kind of grinded out practices. So that's kind of where we are right now.
And can you just talk about your normal routine, pre-meet routine before a championship duel?
All right, well, I guess like kind of a day in the life kind of thing. We normally wake up really early the day of the competition. Well, the competition lasts for 4 days. So every day we wake up maybe around like 5:30. We head straight to the pool, do a wake-up swim. So you just kind of get in, splash around a little bit, do a couple hundred yards, get out, go back to the hotel, and eat breakfast or whatever, get ready for that. And then the whole team will go back over for the official meet warm-up, and then the meet starts about an hour and a half after the meet warm-up starts. So you have that whole time to get ready and prepare. Warm-up is a big factor in getting ready to race. You got to make sure your heart rate's up and like you're ready to go. So that's kind of where it is. And then after the prelim session, if you make it back to finals, then you have a couple hours in between to grab some lunch, take a nap, and then you just go back again, do it same thing at night, and then the same thing the next couple of days. So it's a lot of work, and it's a grind, but it's really fun.
Well, that's awesome, and good luck coming up in the next couple weekends.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for being here too.
Yep.
Back to you, Tom. I'm Kate Seifert with the Athlete Spotlight.
Thanks, Kate. Moving from the pool to the hardwood, the Ashland University men's basketball team did something only for the second time all season. The Eagles dropped 2 games in a row, losing tough decisions at Tiffin and at home against Lake Erie, following a win over Ohio Dominican. Head coach John Elwood sat down with us to discuss his team's recent performance.
I thought in the first half of the Ohio Dominican game we played outstanding. Imposed our will and attacked them. Got some easy buckets and just dominated every detail of that first half. Second half, I thought we got relaxed and for whatever reason, we weren't motivated in that second half, and that kind of transformed into the first half of the Tiffin game. I think we went into the Tiffin game a little bit too relaxed, which is my fault for not getting them prepared, I guess. Our guys fought back hard. I'm proud of them for that, just to know that we haven't played good basketball up until the second half for 4 straight halves, and it was good to see that we still had that in us. I was a little worried about our effort, and that's something that we can't have this time of year. But it's we don't want to finish second in these games, and we gotta come through with those wins. I think we're down to almost 10 practices. There's not that much time left, and it's I'm going to talk to them about just putting an extra 5 minutes in. For 10 practices will equal 50 minutes of working on something that they need to individually get better at to help the team. And just because it's late in the year doesn't mean we can't get better at something.
Senior guard Taylor Woods has a long list of accomplishments as a member of the AU women's basketball program. National champion, 8th all-time leading scorer, and now all-time three-point leader. AU TV 20's Haley Hieronymus has the story.
Ashland senior guard Taylor Woods broke the program's three-point record after scoring her 203rd shot against Northern Michigan. It was a moment to remember for Woods and her team.
Having the support of my team, the whole bench erupted, the coaches all jumped up, and I could just tell that it was just a cool moment knowing that you were loved by so many people.
The original record was set by Karen Bly, who was an Ashland Eagle from 1995 to 1999. Bly set the three-point record with 202 points. Woods' accomplishment came as no surprise to her coach.
I knew she was going to be a powerful player here and have an impact on the team, and just to watch her growth over the years has been a real joy.
Woods has spent her time focusing on repetition shooting behind the three-point line. Her consistency and hard work paid off.
A celebration of all the work that has gone into Taylor's career, all the millions of shots that she has taken and worked on her game in the gym, and it's just an honor and a privilege to be the coach once again for somebody that's setting a record here.
Woods says she knew the moment was bound to happen, but it was especially exciting because her father was there to see it.
It was a cool moment. My dad was able to make the trip up there, which was really meant a lot to me because he's coached me since I've ever been really little.
For AU TV 20, I'm Haley Hieronymus.
Staying in women's basketball, let's take a look at the women's basketball GLIAC standings, starting with the North. Michigan Tech, the Huskies lead the way, 14-1 in GLIAC play and 18-1 overall. Grand Valley State follows close behind at 11-4 and 14-5. Northern Michigan, Hillsdale, and Northwood make up the middle of the GLIAC North, while Ferris State, Lake Superior State, and Saginaw Valley are the bottom third of the GLIAC North. Switching over now to the GLIAC South, Wayne State, of course, we've seen them come into Ashland and battle the Eagles. They have a fantastic squad, 8 Division I transfers. They lead the way at 13-2 and 17-2 overall. Our AU Eagles follow close behind 11-4 and 15-6 overall. After that, it's a logjam in the middle of the Southern Division. Walsh, Finley, and Malone all between 8-7 and 6-9, while Tiffin, Ohio Dominican, and Lake Erie make up the bottom third. Now switching over to the men's side, in the GLIAC North, it is the Ferris State Bulldogs leading the way with a game lead over Lake Superior State. They are 14-1 and 18-3. The Lakers and Saginaw Valley follow close behind, both at 13-2. Lake Superior State 18-3 overall, and Saginaw Valley 17-4 overall. Michigan Tech, Hillsdale, and Northwood make up the next 3 teams, and the bottom 2 teams in the conference. Not too often you see Grand Valley State be the worst team in anything, but they are right now the worst team in the Northern Division at 5-10 and 9-12 overall. Now sliding on down to the GLIAC South, it is Ashland with right now an 8-7 record in GLIAC play. That is the first place team in the GLIAC South. Not a great year for the GLIAC South, but Ashland right now 8-7 and 14-7 overall hold that lead. Behind them, it's a close race between Walsh and Finley for second place, both with 7-8. Malone at 6-9 follows after them. Lake Erie, who picked up a huge win at Ashland on a late three-pointer, improved to 5-10. They're still in the hunt. Ohio Dominican, Tiffin, and Wayne State all are below the 500 mark at 4-10, 3-11, and 3-12. Now sliding on down to the high school level, let's take a look at the Firelands Conference. South Central, we've seen them on the WRDL High School Game of the Week. They are fantastic. Dallas Yost and his teammates lead the Firelands Conference at 10-1. Plymouth, the Big Red Trail, are tied actually with South Central at 10-1 as well. After that, it's another logjam in the middle of the conference. New London, Western Reserve, and the Mapleton Mounties all trail in the middle part before Monroeville, Crestview, and St. Paul make up the bottom third. And moving over to the Ohio Cardinal Conference, it is the Ashland High School, the Arrows. Behind the great play of Isaac White, they are 9-0. Clear Fork comes in at 2-7, while Lexington, Madison, and Mansfield Senior all are around the 500 mark. Orville, West Holmes, and Worcester also around the 500 mark. Orville 3 games below, West Holmes 5 games below, and Worcester 2 games above. That's it for this first edition of the Eagles Sports Update. Thanks for joining us. Tune in next time to see more coverage of Ashland University sports, and have a good evening.